We are back on the record in State v. Kohberger.
After a string of recent losses in court this morning, a new defense strategy. Signs that Bryan Kohberger's lawyers may be preparing to argue he's on the autism spectrum in a bid to get the death penalty off the table. While the details of the actual motion are still under seal, experts in the state say it's unlikely to succeed.
Idaho has eliminated the insanity defense in criminal cases. So an attempt to suggest that autism-related symptoms would automatically constitute any kind of defense in a criminal case is probably destined to fail.
The surprise move comes as the defense adds its newest team member, a California-based lawyer specializing in cases involving forensic DNA.
Brett Payne, last is spelled P-A-Y.
While a newly unsealed court transcript reveals how local police in Moscow, Idaho, zeroed in on Bryan Kohberger in mid-December 2022, after 4 University of Idaho students, Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonsalves were found stabbed to death in their off-campus home. A previous judge entered a not guilty plea on Kohberger's behalf, but now as trial inches closer, his defense strategy has come into sharper focus. His lawyer suggesting unknown male blood was found in 2 other places at the crime scene, the railing of a staircase and a glove found outside of the home. In that newly unsealed transcript, the defense asking Detective Brett Payne why they did not immediately try to track down unknown male B. Payne responding, "At that point in time, we had already received Mr. Kohberger's name." Meanwhile, the state also revealing in a new motion prosecutors plan to present a 3D model of the house where the students were killed for the trial this August after the university demolished it last year.
So it seems like a pivot from the defense after a pretty big setback last week in terms of the evidence that was suppressed.
Yeah.
Not suppressed.
Right. But it's interesting here. It's all about, obviously, planting reasonable doubt, right? So the idea that there's some unknown male DNA in the house, the defense doesn't have to explain where that DNA came from. They just have to make the jury think the police didn't do a good enough job ruling out other suspects. So it could be interesting to see if the judge allows that to come in at trial.
But it's a group house with a lot of people coming and going, so who knows how far that would go
The
with
prosecution
the jury.
has easy rebuttals to that. Yeah.
Thank you, Laura.
Yeah. Thank you, Laura.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.